Well, I'm joined now by the former Metropolitan Police Detective Chief Inspector Peter Kirkham and from Westminster, the Labour MP Rupa Hutt. Rupa Hutt, is it Groundhog Day? We seem to have gone back to the 80s.
Yeah, there is a sense of 1981 about this. But look, I mean, nobody's arguing against stop and search if it's intelligence-led, if it's properly focused, if it's professionally performed. But the worry is that the figures speak for themselves. From 2016 to 2017, black males, you know, I have a teenage son myself, were 8 times more likely to be stopped and searched than their white counterparts. And, you know, when this happens, as we saw in 1981, it was the seed of what turned into a summer of riots in Brixton, Toxteth, all over the country was ablaze, because it can, you know, sour and ultimately poison and damage relations between communities and the police. We need the police to keep us safe, to tackle crime. But, I mean, good community relations work when the police have confidence and trust of the community. And indiscriminate, unfocused stop and search done on the basis of pigmentation, which we saw in the 80s, is the complete opposite of that.
Peter Kirkham, it was Theresa May who said stop and search was being disproportionately used and it needed to be reduced.
It was.
Was she wrong?
She was. She listened to the critics and she took exactly what they said and repeated it, and she has basically beaten the police service into stop doing stop and search. If you look at the graph for stop and search, it goes like that. And if you want one of your interviewees said, where's the results, where's the link? Well, if you look at the youth violence, it goes like that, and they cross over in the middle. Stop and search is an essential tool for police officers on the streets to maintain safe public space for everybody. Young black youths who are getting stabbed at the moment by other young black youths, primarily, in London anyway, they say the police aren't keeping us safe. How are the police in public space going to keep them safe other than by speaking to, and if necessary, stop searching other young black youths?
Rupa Hutt?
I mean, it's a part of the solution, but, I mean, let's face it, we're 21,000 down on police numbers, so this on its own is not going to be enough. 7,000 of those officers lost are community officers. I mean, I've seen this in my own constituency. A lot of the, you know, friendly Bobby on the beat things that we grew up with are vanishing. In the London Borough of Ealing, we only have 1 police station now for 360,000 people. So, I mean, on its own, it's not enough when, you know, if this is just a cover for sort of slashing police numbers, it's not going to work. Poverty is another big driver of crime. And actually, there are studies that say the opposite of what's just been quoted. So just earlier this year, the College of Policing came out with a report that said that actually stop and search has a quite negligible effect on crime. I think they found that it's not consistent. It sort of goes up and down. I mean, I would say when it's done properly, it can be an effective tool in an armoury of many other things.
It always needs to be done properly.
Youth services have also been cut,
and we can look
massively slashed under this government.
We can look at those statistics and have this sort of sterile debate without looking at the detail. The statistics tell us little. I would absolutely agree that it is not a replacement, and I'm not arguing that it's the only answer. It's not.
But can you take the racism out
officers.
of stop and search?
We could if we had a grown-up debate about it, because everybody keeps shouting at the police, you're racist and you're stopping people on the basis of their colour.
Do you think there is
They're
racism?
Not. There may be odd police officers that are overtly individually racist, but they are significantly fewer than there were 20 or 30 years ago, and it is difficult for them to operate in that way.
I mean, it will be undoubtedly true that poverty is a factor in these crimes. But, you know, the police have got a problem right now. You know, there are people being stabbed and killed on the streets right now. They've got to do something about it. What's your alternative?
I mean, yeah, and we have increasing types of crime. Things like acid attacks didn't used to exist a few years ago. So, yeah, I absolutely agree that the police need... I mean, the police themselves have said that they want proper training. They need to be properly resourced. They need to have the community links that is being lost with safer neighbourhood teams evaporating. You can't do justice on the cheap. And you're absolutely right that it was Theresa May who said it's an affront to justice when she was Home Secretary, when you have this indiscriminate stop and search. So what I'm saying is, if it's done the right way, it can be done. Why have youth services been so slashed? That's part of money that's been taken out of local authorities. We have a very clever Conservative government that displaces a lot of their cuts onto local authorities, so people blame, in my case, the Labour Council. Youth services, places where kids can go in the summer holidays, at weekends, after school, have been massively slashed. There is a correlation.